Hey guys, I think I'm live. I'm having the worst time with my internet right now. Oh, look, it finally sent that chat. Okay. Hi everyone. Happy Transformation Tuesday. I usually start with hey friend. Hey friend. That totally threw me off. Like my internet stopped working and my computer froze literally right as I was like go live, go live. So, anyway, my energy might be a little bit weird right now because I was like, fucking go. What are you doing? But anyway, welcome. We're going to do a deep dive into affirmations today. And let's just fucking hop in. Yay, I'm so glad you can hear me. Oh, man. Today is the day that we're going to fix your affirmations so that they actually do something for you. And before I forget, because things are all kinds of whacked out in my mind right now, I may not be here next week, depending on which day my cycle starts. But if I am here, our next Transformation Tuesday Live will be on the toxic traits of the law of assumption community, because some things have been weighing heavily on my mind, and I just need to put it out there. If not, though, it will be sometime in the near future because I already have the one for the 20th planned out to go along with the podcast episode that we're recording live on September 16th in the Discord community, which you can join in the description box below if you would like to listen to our live podcasts as we record them and or be a part of the show. So, all that said, hopefully this is going to go smoothly. Everybody send some good vibes to my computer, cross those fingers, whatever. But in the next 20 to 30 minutes, you're going to learn why affirmations don't work sometimes, what to do differently, and how to power them up so they learn how to create affirmations that actually change your life. But before we jump in, here's my little disclaimer that I say at the beginning of all of my videos, real quick. I'm always teaching from my current level of understanding, so please take what resonates and leave what doesn't, because you may have a different understanding than I do, which is totally cool. And please be sure to like the stream to get it in front of more people who would benefit from it, and or share it if you like. I would really appreciate it. And be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, because it helps not just you and me, but also the people who are looking for this type of content, because YouTube pushes out videos more from channels that are consistently growing. And let's get into it. Let me just make sure all is well technically. Yeah, we are fun. We're a fun group. And you get to hear all the times I say, okay, I'm going to edit this out, but that's like my favorite part of the whole thing, is how many times I say things like, I'm going to edit this out, but ... Anyway, first we're going to talk about why your affirmations might not be working very well for you. So, number one, you're affirming to see movement in your 3D reality instead of a change in your self concept and state of being. So, this ends up making you continue to check your 3D reality when you're actually not supposed to do that. You are supposed to be ignoring it as much as possible. And it will burn you out. And we'll actually dig a little deeper into what to do instead in a few for this one. Next, you're using them like a battering ram. So, what do I mean by that? And actually, you may want to take some notes right here, because we're going to talk about beliefs a little bit, which is not really part of today's episode, webisode, whatever you want to call it, but this is really, really important. So there are two potential reasons for this. One, you're trying to convince your conscious mind that they're true, but you actually don't need your conscious mind to believe it, because the point is to impress it upon your subconscious mind. Or two, you're trying to use them to dismantle an old belief instead of building a new one. So let's talk about how to actually dismantle a belief instead. And this is where you might want to jot a few things down. So, the way you dismantle an old false limiting belief is by putting it into context or reframing it as an adult. Because when you know where it comes from, it's a lot easier to see it for what it really is, which is the reasoning of a child, which led to a misunderstanding that created a false limiting belief. So when you reason, like, looking at it through adult eyes, that's how it starts to break down. So I'll use myself as an example because, that's the best example to use. I developed the belief that I had to work really hard to earn love, and that I usually fell short in my early childhood. So little me decided that this meant that there was something fundamentally wrong with me that made me unworthy. And if I could just work harder, I could earn the love and affection that I craved. But adult me can look back and understand that that was narcissistic abuse, and I always was worthy of love. But my narcissistic father isn't capable of loving anyone, and my often mentally absent, then physically absent alcoholic mother wasn't emotionally available either, because she was trying to cope with being abused too. And not a single fucking thing about that was my fault. They couldn't give me what every child needs and deserves, and that was their shortcoming, not mine. So when I say I am inherently worthy as an affirmation, I'm using it to strengthen my new belief, because I already dismantled the old one by reasoning it as an adult. Does that make sense? Please let me know if you've got any questions or need clarification, because this is really key as far as breaking down your false limiting beliefs, because you can start to anchor the new ones in before you've completely cleared out the old ones, but they're not going to take root and start to grow until the old ones are dissolved, okay? And your own childhood, your own examples may not be as severe as mine, and I hope they're not. But your false limiting beliefs still need to be dismantled, even if you learned them from loving, emotionally available parents, because we've all been brainwashed to believe things that hold us back, right? So the next one is you're gaslighting yourself with them. So for me, this goes hand in hand with using them as a battering ram. But before you go, wait, you just said you don't need to believe them with your conscious mind, and now you're saying not to like gaslight yourself? What gives? Let me explain. Saying that you're inherently worthy of love, for instance, isn't gaslighting yourself, because that's an objectively true statement, as everyone, literally everyone, is inherently worthy of love. But if you're basically saying things like, I've always been rich, I've always had more money than I needed, I've always whatever, like anything that has sort of, you've been in that feedback loop, right? With your belief and your physical reality sort of proving your belief, right? That's when it feels like you're gaslighting, because your mind is going to come back at you with something like, okay, but how come we got evicted 12 times? Or how come we have to decide whether we eat or pay the electric bill, right? So that's an example of gaslighting yourself. The difference is when your mind comes up with, okay, well, if we're worthy, then why did dad say this horrible thing to us when we were 5? The answer is dad was fucked up, right? I hope that makes sense. I really, really hope that makes sense, because there's a big difference between the two. So if this method actually works for you, though, great. Feel free to disregard this. If you are good saying things like, I've always been chosen, I've always been rich, I've always been popular, I've always been whatever, even if your experience didn't exhibit that, but you're okay saying those things, then do it. Like, that is totally fine. This is more for people that feel like they're gaslighting themselves, like they're lying, okay? So if it's burning you out, making you feel like you're arguing with and or lying to yourself, your effort is being wasted, and you don't have to do it this way to manifest what you want anyway. Plus, this is supposed to be fun and make you feel good. So stop doing anything that isn't making you feel empowered, because that's the whole point of doing any of this. So does all of this make sense so far? Let me know in the chat or the comments, and holler if you have any questions. And let me just go ahead and check the live chat before we move on. Okay, let's see. All the magic happens beyond your perception. That is true. Yep, I'm doing a lot of dismantling. Yes, okay. Good deal. So now let's get into the fun part, if it will let me. Okay. So now we're going to talk about the ways that you can power them up so that they actually do change your life. So first and foremost, use them to affirm your self-concept instead of affirming movement in your 3D reality. So instead of saying something like, I manifest $1,000 a day, if that causes you to look at your 3D reality and be like, no, I don't, you can say something like, I am worthy of all the abundance I desire instead, right? Furthermore, we're going to go a little bit deeper here. If you're struggling with affirming the thing that you want, in this example, abundance, try affirmations like, I am worthy of feeling secure, or I am worthy of freedom. So you're affirming the feeling you want that the thing you want gives you, instead of the thing itself. So again, this one may not apply to you, but if you're feeling heavy resistance and or exhausted by affirming that money flows to you quickly and effortlessly, for example, try affirming that you're worthy of the feeling you want from money flowing to you quickly and effortlessly, right? Again, I hope that makes sense. Another really good tip is to say them how you naturally speak. Don't just copy someone else's affirmations, say them how you actually talk, because your subconscious will accept them more quickly that way. If you like to swear, you can swear in your affirmations like, I'm a fucking badass, or I am that bitch, right? If that's how you talk to your best friend, that's how you should say it to yourself. There is no like wrong way to do it, as long as you're sending the correct message to your subconscious mind, right? They don't need to be flowery and poetic. They need to be effective, and saying them how you normally speak makes them way more effective. So if you got them from a website, coach, or someone else, and you don't connect with them when you say them, they're not going to work very well. So reword them until you do feel a connection to them. So the next one is speak in absolutes, using words like always and everything, but not in a gaslighting way. So here's an example with always, or a couple of them, in fact. I've always been very creative. I'm always on the cutting edge. I've always been very resilient. I always manifest whatever I want right on time. Okay, that's just a few examples. but use it in a way that resonates with you. And I'll give you a few for everything as well. So everything is always working out for me, or everything is always working in my favor. Everything I want wants me. Everything I do attracts soul aligned clients. Anything like that works, right? So the next one is make it a no brainer by using terms like of course or it's natural. So here are a few examples of each of those. Of course, I attract high vibe, soul aligned people. Of course, I attract the best opportunities. It's natural for me to be abundant, wealthy, healthy, and happy. It's natural for me to be unconditionally loved. You can also use naturally, as in the right people and opportunities are naturally drawn to me, if you like. Like you can use any other words like that resonate with you as well. If normal is a word that you like, you can use that interchangeably with natural, although to me they're not the same thing, but you know what I mean. Just use words that really resonate with you, that you use in your daily life. So use both adjectives and nouns to describe yourself for your I am affirmations. So here are some examples of that. I am abundant and I am abundance. I am prosperous. I am prosperity, etc. So the reason we do this is to dissolve any separation you may feel between you and source. Because source is all of these things and source is inside you. So not only are you abundant, but you are also abundance. You are prosperity. You are unconditional love. You are all of these things. And hopefully that will help it really sink in, like really integrate that. And I am the version of me who. So another example would be that well, let me kind of explain it before I do that. You want to affirm that you're already the version of you who, say, doesn't worry about money, makes thousands of dollars a week or whatever. So you're not gaslighting yourself here, because you're not saying that these things are in your physical reality yet. What you're saying is that you are already the version of you that can have those things, that does have those things, okay? Which can help you to step into it and align with that timeline or reality, like more quickly, basically. So I hope that makes sense. And let me just take another quick check just to make sure. Yes, the self-concept is huge. The feeling is key for human design. I was like HD, like high definition. Anyway, yes. Okay, so we're about halfway through how to power them up. So the next one is give yourself a reason by adding because. So example, of course it's natural for me to be abundant because it's my birthright as a unique expression of source energy. You may not talk like that, but like I said, reword it. Of course everything I want wants me because I'm magnetic as fuck, right? So I also incorporated a couple of the other power-ups in this one, which I absolutely recommend if it feels natural to you. Just don't make them too long, because you want to remember them and be able to say them by, to yourself on autopilot. Next, we have turn your affirmations into incantations. And I think Tony Robbins talks about this, but I don't know for sure, or if we mean it in the same way, because I'm actually not a fan. I just remember hearing that he does this after I started looking at saying affirmations out loud like this. But here's what I mean by it. I don't know what he means by it, or if I'm even correct. That kind of came to my mind. I'm not a fan of his. So anyway, what I mean by it is add a statement to the end, like it is done, and so it is, or even so mote it be. That one's a little bit witchy. I like it though, because I'm a little bit witchy. Let's be real. Or any other phrase really that lets your brain know it's a done deal. Hell, you could even say it's a done deal, right? I am the version of me that makes multi 5 figures a month. It's a done deal, you know? Um, and this one just came to mind and I didn't even like include it, but I like inevitable. My success is inevitable because everything is inevitable. But we won't go down any rabbit holes today, but also use that. Throw that inevitable word in there. Um, Again, as long as you would normally use that word, or if you can get comfortable using that word, okay? So then to sort of bump it up another incantation notch, you're going to add a physical gesture that makes sense to you. Snap my fingers at the end of mine, but please choose something that feels natural to you. You can do jazz hands with spirit fingers if you want. That, it just needs to make sense to you. So you could say something like, of course I'm naturally drawing experiences that I love, snap or not. But anyway, that was just kind of off the top of my head. Next we have, so you're just going to say a bunch of them in a row out loud until you feel a positive. Of course, I attract abundance in every area of my life. I'm a fucking rock star. Everything I want wants me. So it's only natural that I attract amazing opportunities, and I'm always in the right place at the right time because my world takes care of me. I am unconditionally loved by source. I am an eternal energetic being becoming the highest expression of my soul in human form. Every energy raise. About halfway through that, I started like tingling, right? So that's how you can tell. Use EFT or shamanic tapping to help wire them in faster. And if you're wondering what the fuck shamanic tapping is right now, I could be wrong, but it basically looks like EFT with some slight variations. I went down a rabbit hole one day because I saw someone use this term and their tapping was a bit different than what I'm used to, but there wasn't a whole lot of information on it, and the search results kept returning EFT tapping. So yeah, not entirely sure, but just thought that was kind of interesting. Basically, you can do this by going through each affirmation while tapping your karate chop point, then start over and say one at a time while tapping each of the other points until you get through them all and end the sequence. If you don't know much about EFT tapping, there are some tapping videos on my channel, including like the history and science of it and all that good stuff. So check that out. Or you can do it however you feel intuitively guided to. So the key is just that tapping those energy points while you say them helps to rewire your brain and nervous system a bit faster too, making you more receptive to your new beliefs and affirmations. You could also use the faster EFT method to do this if you like. So if you've never heard of that, you can also find a whole bunch of videos on YouTube with that. And finally, create some subliminals with them. Record yourself saying your affirmations and play them on a loop whenever you can, anytime you're on autopilot. So, like when you're doing the dishes, driving or commuting, taking a walk, taking a shower, cleaning the house, literally anytime that your mind is kind of on autopilot, play those affirmations on a loop because your subconscious mind is going to accept them more easily in that state. And it's really helpful if you can fall asleep listening to them because your subconscious mind, again, will accept them more easily when you're in that state, as well as hearing them in your own voice. That is also a key. So, your subconscious mind, hearing them in your own voice, the way you actually speak, is going to help them, uh, integrate more fully, right? It's going to help your subconscious mind accept them. Bonus points if you put meditation music with solfeggio frequencies behind your affirmations track, because that's also going to help, especially if you use, which one is it? Now I can't remember which frequency, but there's a frequency that is specifically really helpful for sort of like rewiring your mind or changing the way that you think. You can definitely look that up. I'm sorry that I can't remember it right now for some reason. So, what do you think? Let me know if you learned anything that you didn't already know in the chat if you're live or in the comments if you're watching a replay. Let me know if you've got your own method that I didn't even think of, because that would also be helpful to others. And if you're still watching but haven't liked the video yet, please do so now to help more people find it if you're enjoying it. Leave a comment to let the algorithm know it should show this to more people if you're watching the replay. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, because I really appreciate your support. And like I said earlier, it helps other people that could really use this information find the channel, right? But this is just one of the ways we rewrite your false limiting beliefs to create a truly empowered self-concept using my divinely guided self-concept code. And you'll learn all of them along with my signature self-compassion code for quantum healing without reliving the trauma or bypassing anything, and my higher self alignment code for aligning with your higher self, activating and or strengthening your spirits. Plus, you'll be certified so you can use them with your own clients to safely accelerate their results and ethically raise your investment prices. And I will support you in adapting them to work best for you and the people that you're here to help, because I'm not here to be like, this is the only way to do it. That's not how my brain works. I'm here to make sure this reaches as many people as possible, and we all resonate differently. So I always want you to take my teachings and modify them to work best for you. So we start in just over a month on the 1010 portal. So if you're interested, there's more information and the links to secure your spot in the description box below, as well as my contact information if you have any questions before investing. I'm going to be real with you though. Facebook is definitely the fastest way to get a hold of me. So just going to put that out there because my email is a little bit crazy. So if you definitely have, like, you're really, really interested, but you just have a few questions, DM me on Facebook, or you could DM me on Discord as well if you're in the Discord community. But are there any questions about anything at all right now? Let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. Oh, 432. Thank you, Jenny. So 432 hertz is the solfeggio frequency for like being more receptive, helping rewire your brain. Oh no, the sound was degrading. Damn it. Okay. I'm glad it got better though. It took a couple minutes, I see. So love inevitable. saying affirmations while walking. Sound glitched again. Damn. Well, hopefully you got everything that was necessary. Holler at me if you want to work with me. I do still have space for one-to-ones if I feel like it's, if really called to it. So if you feel called to work with me one-to-one, definitely shoot me a message and we'll talk, because I'm not opposed to that. But most of my work now is in teaching these methods so that it gets out to more people, basically, because that helps me serve my purpose much faster. And yeah, it helps the whole world. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, whether you're here live or watching the replay. Let me know if you've got any questions, and I will see you around the interwebs. Much love.